Isn't this exciting? I'm in a Focus RS again, but this one is a little bit different. This is an Edition, Focus RS Edition, which I've never driven. But anyway, what am I doing in this car? It's because this belongs to a subscriber of mine who lives very close to where I live, and he was on my channel for a long time, and we were back and forth on email. I never got to meet him or anything because I just never get around to meeting anybody. But anyway, he got in touch with Victoria, said, why don't you guys try out my car? And so because of them sorting it out, I've picked up the car this morning. I'm taking it for a spin on my own, and then Victoria's going to take over and she's going to do a video for her channel with the car. But first, I wanted to give my opinion on this car. So I was really excited to drive it. So this is an Edition. This isn't just the standard RS, this is the Edition. And a lot of people watching this are going to go, I know all that, Justin, I know all that, just get on with it. But for those of you who don't know, this is, I think they made maybe, I don't know, 500 or 700, something like that. They made a few hundred of these as a final hurrah with the car. And the big difference is, although there are some styling differences to the standard RS, such as the black roof, the black spoiler, the black mirrors, the wheels and the kit in here, the big difference is really that this has a limited slip differential at the front. So you should get better turning, I'm assuming. And in fact, because I remember with my RS, it did have a little bit of understeer sometimes when pushing on, especially through a tight corner and you're trying to come out the corner or something and there's a mosquito in the car. Get out. Do not want that bite in my leg. Sorry. I do not want a mosquito. Fucker's still in here. Sorry about that. So two things. Do I regret selling my RS? And does this limited slip diff make any difference? So these little bits of road that I know really well here, I'm really keen to just try the car out along here because I just knew how my RS handled perfectly along here. So let's have a look. Do we get any difference? Oh wow, yeah. Okay, that does make a difference. Oh. Yes. Wow, that limited slip diff at the front. No. Whoa, there's even more grip. That'll power out of here. Oh shit. Oh fuck yes. Oh wow. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts. Wow. Okay, so this bit of road, let's just go back down there. So this is a really good, this little stretch of road is a really good test for any car to handle. And my RS was always a beast along here, and especially because it's always scrabbling for grip coming up. And they're just really tight corners. You don't have to be going very fast, but you lose grip very, very, very quickly. So what's interesting in this car is there's nothing coming. See, look. Oh, it's just like a slingshot. Oh. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can feel it working now. Oh, let's just go back up there. David was very kind to say, rag the pants off the car. Drive it like it was intended to be driven. I said, no, I'm going to take good care of it, mate. But you can't help but rag it. Look at that. You know. Yeah, that is definitely, you can feel that. Whoa, look. Yeah, okay. That's limited slip tip. Jesus. Oh fuck. Excuse my swearing, but it's just another level now. Okay. Yes. So one of the things, before I picked up the car today, right, I'm just conscious of time. Before I picked up the car today, I thought, am I going to be disappointed with the Edition? Because I loved my RS. I loved it so much. I thought it was just such an entertaining car. I loved the fact that the understeer didn't bother me too much, because you sort of, you know, you could come into like a tight corner, you knew it was going to understeer a bit, but if you floored the throttle enough, you could get the back out and sort of compensate for the understeer. So it didn't really matter so much. So then I thought, well, with the limited slip diff at the front, is it just going to be too grippy? Is it just going to be too much? Are you just going to have too much grip? And it's not going to make, you know, it's going to take away the fun aspect of it. I'm not sure. I was I think I was just overly worried about nothing, actually, because that's actually very entertaining. So it's definitely right. This roundabout here is an excellent test. Hopefully the local police do not watch my videos. Right, let's just try this. Okay. Yeah, perfect. No cars. Perfect. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. So this road I know really well. This is a road up to a village called Casares, and they resurfaced it recently. And in fact, it's one of the first videos I did with my RS, and I loved it. And it's because you can carry such speed through the corners, and because you can see things coming, you can, without driving like a complete moron, have huge amounts of fun. So this being the Edition, it does come with all the bits and bobs. It's very highly spec'd. It's a very, very highly spec'd car. And these Recaro seats, which I love, which are not particularly figure-hugging, by the way, and that's something I always discuss, because you can actually wobble in them. The actual standard seats grip you more, but these just look cool. So this car, I think, was about £3,500 more than a standard car when it came out. Let's take these buggers. You do get that veering steering a little bit, which mine did, especially when you're overtaking something, and it feels like it's pulling you to one side or another. But this limited slip diff in this car, it was actually available with through Mountune in the UK and probably some other markets. We're not here in Spain, but it was available through Mountune. I think it was like £700 or £800 if I remember right. I'm not 100% sure on that, but definitely not like the £3.5 odd grand that you pay for this. So you can actually, on your standard RS, upgrade it with the diff, if you want to, for about £700 or £800, which is actually really good value for money. While I'm on the way to the bit of road that I'm trying to get us to, I'll just talk to you a bit about how this compares to the M4, because that's the big thing, isn't it? Because so many people keep asking me, Justin, do you regret selling your RS? And it's like, well, actually, I have very few regrets in life, you know? You make a decision at a time which is right. That's the right decision for the right time. You made a decision, that's it, stick to it. Don't go crying about it. So I never regret anything. So it's very hard to go, oh, I really regret selling it. And I don't regret selling it. I had my RS for 3 years. I had huge fun with it, massive fun with it. But 3 years is a long time, you know, and I like to try out different things. I like to try out different cars. I like to have different experiences. So I don't regret selling my RS, but driving this it reminds me what a phenomenal car this is and how much fun it is. You cannot not enjoy yourself in this car. And anybody who doesn't like this car, well, they're just not a petrol head, essentially. I suppose one of the things I do notice there is that my BMW has this adaptive suspension, which actually makes it quite comfortable over rough surfaces. But this one reminds me that it's quite a stiff car, and it doesn't compensate for rough surfaces at all. Okay, so we're coming up to the bit now that I wanted to get us to. See, like this tight hairpin here. Right, nothing coming. Yeah. And this one. Hold on. Whoa. Yeah, okay, there is a criticism here. Okay, there is a criticism. Now that I've got a car in front, I can talk. I couldn't talk back then. Too much grip. It is too much grip. I think it's taken a slight edge off, you know, the the laryness of the car. So like I'm coming into this hairpin here, look. So down to second, nothing coming up there. I power out. It's just grip. It's gripping all over the place. Whereas mine, my original one, the back end would have just been out there really quickly. This one is not, because the front is dragging you along so much that it's just compensating for any loss of traction that this car might have, which means that you have to drive a hell of a lot faster than in the standard model, which is great for a racetrack. If you want to take this on a racetrack, yeah, you're going to notice a difference. But on the main roads, what you're going to notice is just a lack of, it's a little bit, you're just having to go so much faster. Yeah, so, wow, there's a dilemma, isn't there? So, as you know, I used to track my RS quite a lot. So, for me, maybe the limited slip diff, this edition, or the Mount Tuna. So, it's really difficult to talk when you're driving like not a nutter, I'm driving respectfully, but I'm driving with some haste. So yeah, so if you track your car, this is definitely, you would want that differential. You would want that up front. It really does power through. It just gives you even more grip, more power. Not more power, but you can power through a corner even more than the original one. Because the original one never felt particularly lacking, to be honest. It was a phenomenally grippy car. It's just that the back end, it felt a little bit rear wheel drive biased, and you can have quite, it's very entertaining. This is just, now it's moved it up a level in terms of those levels of grip, and it's possibly just too much for road use, I think. That's the problem. But I'm taking corners at a speed that with the M4 there is no way I would get anywhere near that speed on the M4, because I would shit myself. But this, wow, I always used to say that, I could go really fast around a racetrack in my RS, and I'm not, a professional racing driver or anything, but this, because it's a car that it makes an average driver look like a great driver. It really does. I think that just sums me up perfectly. The brakes are so good. I'd forgotten how good the brakes are. Look at this beautiful road. It's so much fun. So much grip. Too much speed. The story of the RS. It's too fast. So there you go. That is my summary of the RS edition. I think if you do track it, it's worth it. Otherwise, if it's just for road use and you're just trying to enjoy it on the road, the standard car is all you need. You don't need anything more than that. You really don't. So, and if you've got the standard one, you do go tracks, go and fit the Mount Tune one. It does make a difference. It really does make a difference. And I'm saying it because I know those roads really well that we've been on. So I just knew how my car, I knew those corners so well in my car, and I knew how it used to react. That's what I love. You just power a bit of extra throttle through a corner like that. Once it's gripped at the front, press the accelerator, and then you just get this extra little drift at the back, which is very entertaining. I just love this car. I mean, if I could have had the M4 and I could have kept the RS, yeah, I would have been so happy. This is ultimately a family car that can go very, very fast, and it does that really well. And the fact that you can take it to a racetrack and be fast on a racetrack and have a great, great time. I've yet to sample and drive a car that puts as big a smile on my face as this does. So, there you go. I want one. I'm going to have to wait for the next one. I'm assuming... Yeah, you really notice the stiff suspension. I'm going to have to wait for I'm going to have to wait for the Mark IV RS, and I'm very likely to buy it because, well, I'm just a big RS fan. You know, I've always been a fast forward person, and this has been reminded me of how good fast forwards are, as if I could ever forget. So, hope you enjoyed my little review. Thank you so much to David for lending me the car. Now I'm going to meet up with Victoria, and she's going to do a drive with it for her channel. She's not going to drive it like I've driven it, that's for sure. But she'll give you her honest opinion on it. And I'm quite curious to hear her opinion because she had an RS3, an Audi RS3 for a very, very long time, and she loved that car to bits. So I'm curious to see what she thinks of this car compared to that car.
Oh,
Floor, that's it. Now, power out, there's nothing coming. Power, that's it, see?
she's just beautiful, isn't she?
It just has so much grip. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my little review. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.